Hey, how you doing? I'm doing alright. Okay. I know that I said that I wasn't going to watch these sick videos anymore. These sick videos from these sick people who think they can talk back to the police like the punks of the 50s, you know, that just talk back to them. And now, there was this one where they were having a family night. And I find it interesting that the only ones that have the videos uploaded are the ones who are up to no good. Like, there's one of this guy with tinted windows. And at first he started, you know, and then when the officer told him that the tint permit was invalid, he defied that. It's invalid, you're crazy. Da, 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 da. I don't know, but I have never known a, a tint permit to be valid. Why would anybody want tinted windows? The only person who wants tinted windows are people who don't want people looking in. So, why don't they want people looking into the car? Maybe because there's something that the person wants to hide from others. So already this guy got dirty hands by having tinted windows. So, and then he said, "Oh my God, you're gonna shoot me." Well, to keep from getting shot, I'll give you my information. I'll give you my license and registration. I'll give you my information just so I won't be shot. No. You give your information when the officer requests it. That's the way it goes. And then he said something like, um, oh God. And then toward the end of the video, he said, "You know what? I'm going to stop being a nice guy." I really don't think you have been a nice guy. But one thing about the nice guy that this person who's no longer a nice guy is the person who's no longer a nice guy stopped listening and just kept talking over the officer. Just kept talking over the officer. And the person who doesn't listen is the fool. That's the one thing I learned in communication. That the majority of communication has nothing to do with what we say or how we say it. 90% of communication comes from listening to understanding. If there's no understanding, then the communication has failed. So this guy failed to understand, you know. So, and then because I'm no longer going to be a nice guy. Okay, well, then I'm no longer going to watch your videos. How do you like them apples? You think you're going to win friends or win supporters by not being a nice guy, by not being sociable, respectful. You know, you're not presenting yourself in a good light when you do that. Okay? Now, why people are saying, yeah, and they were doing that outside the car? Because they're following a narrative that's not true. And then you have this guy who apparently was speeding, and according to the officer, were making unsafe lane changes. He said unsafe lane changes, and then he turns around and says that the officer was making unsafe lane changes. Number one, how does he know the officer did unsafe lane changes? Does he even know what an unsafe lane change is? So we have this ignorant man, his wife in the front seat, his kids in the back, claiming that they support the police and da-da-da-da-da. I didn't see that at all. Did not see that at all. He has, I don't know where he got his driver's license. Okay? To drive is a privilege. It's not a right. He got what most people get wrong. Well, he didn't get right what most people don't get right. They think that driving is a right, not a privilege that the state gives to drivers. You know, and he's got his wife programmed to follow his lead. Oh, it's ego thing. It's his ego. It's his ego. It's his ego. He keeps repeating it, and his wife now, you know, parents her husband. It's an ego. It's an ego. It's not an ego. There's no ego. First of all, I would hazard a bet that when the officer who was also speeding, which is what he was saying, he was speeding too, and all I wanted to do is slow down. So you want him to slow down while you zip at a unsafe speed. And he even gave that unsafe speed as an example, as if he's the only person in the universe and there's nothing else on the highway, like curbs or other cars. He's not the only driver. And you cannot, there's a speed limit. He's enforcing the law. And that was another thing, is that you are not enforcing the law. And what he should have said was, actually I am. There's a speed limit. You were going over the speed limit. So I was enforcing the law that you were speeding. And he was saying, well, you were speeding also. You should slow down. Okay, what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. So you're saying the cops should slow down, but you don't have to? Who are you to tell the officer that he's got to slow down? Who gave you that authority? You don't have that authority to tell the officer he's got to slow down. Who the hell are you? Who the hell do you think you are? And that's the thought that went through my head when I saw that. Is this any wonder why you're not respected? No. You are the reason why cops are not being respected. Because of people like you. People with attitudes like you. It's just, I had to get this off my chest. And how do we know the officer didn't make unsafe lane change? You know what an unsafe lane change is? Without using your turn signal. Sir. That's an unsafe lane change. Because the signal tells other drivers where you plan to go. Unsafe means other drivers don't know which lane you're going to go to if you do at all. So the guy makes an unsafe lane change without using his turn signal. The officer hits his signal and follows behind as a safe lane change, even though he's at a high rate of speed. It's a safe lane change because he's using his turn signal. The guy is an idiot. He's a fool. I think he is so uneducated about police, about the laws, and he started doing these what ifs. What if they said that you gotta arrest people with blue shirts? So this is a guy who's going off on tangents because he doesn't want to take any responsibility or any accountability for what he did wrong. He's diverting attention from himself. And that is not a good lesson to teach your children who are in the back seat. Your children in the back seat are going to learn this from the dad. Don't take responsibility for what I do wrong. Divert it and blame somebody else. Sounds like a Democrat to me. Sounds like Biden to me. Or Nancy Pelosi or any of the other Democrats who don't take responsibility for the things they do wrong. That they blame somebody or something else. And that also they do not learn the lesson from the Garden of Eden as well. Because the sin in the Garden of Eden was that they both did not take responsibility for the wrongs the bad woman did. And it is disgusting what I saw. It is sad. It is tragic. It is just terrible. You know. So, that's all I want to say. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys later. Take care. See you soon. Bye.